Details on religion and sex will be taken. There will be no details on caste asked. Mahima Kataria is joining us for more details on this story. Mahima, this is a big development coming in. The government has decided to conduct a census in 2025, but what are likely to be the modalities of it?
Wherein the government is expected to begin the census, an official survey of the country's population in 2025 after a 4-year-long delay. If the sources are to be believed, the process will begin in 2025 and is expected to continue till 2026. And the following census will be agreed to the delimitation of the Lok Sabha seat. That is what is expected out of BJP, that if the census begins, it will be the delimitation of the Lok Sabha seats that will commence, and this exercise is likely to be completed in 2028. And this development comes amid their demands for several opposition parties for a caste census. However, the government has not yet made a decision, and the details of the census process are yet to be made public. However, if the sources are to be believed, again, Uday, this indicates next year's census may also include survey of the subsects within the general and SC/ST categories in addition to.
But now there is information coming in, Mahima, that no caste-based census will be conducted. Now, is this correct, that no questions on caste will be asked in this census exercise?
These are the allegations that have been made, or the demands, you can clearly say, made by the opposition parties, be it be Rahul Gandhi, be it be Manikam Tagore, who have made demands repeatedly for the caste census. And we've also heard Prime Minister Narendra Modi stating that the opposition is keen dividing the country on the basis of caste. But there are majorly 4 castes, that is the Garib, the Mahila, the Kisan and the Yuva, is what Prime Minister has always stated. But however, there is no such official confirmation, no such official decision that has been taken from the government's end whether there will be a caste census or not. However, if the sources are to be believed today, I would like to highlight it here that this indicates that next year's census may also include surveys of subsects within the general and SC/ST categories, in addition to usual categorization by religion and social class, as well as the counts of general scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So that is
Rakesh Singh, managing editor of Input India News, is also joining us now live. Rakesh Singh, what is the information that is available with us? This will not be a caste-based census. That's the news coming in through our sources. Is that correct, Rakesh? But there will be a census that will happen in 2026, in 2025 rather.
देखिए उदय, जिस तरह से हमारे पास सोर्सेज के हवाले से बड़ी खबर आ रही है, बड़ी खबर यह है कि जनगणना को लेकर बड़ा अपडेट है, और अपडेट है कि 2025 से जनगणना शुरू होगी और 2026 तक जारी रहेगी। रिपोर्ट की माने तो जनगणना के बाद लोकसभा सीटों का परिसीमन शुरू होगा। यह प्रक्रिया 2028 तक चल सकती है, जैसा कि सोर्सेज इस बात की जानकारी दे रहे हैं। लेकिन ये जरूर है कि जिस विपक्ष की ओर से जिस तरह से जातीय जनगणना को लेकर सीधे तौर पर सवाल खड़ा किया जा रहा था और सरकार को बैकफुट पर धकेलने की कोशिश की जा रही थी, उसको लेकर अभी तक जो है पूरी तरह से तस्वीर साफ नहीं हुई है कि आखिरकार सरकार इसके लिए तैयार है या नहीं। लेकिन ये जरूर है कि सरकार पर इसको लेकर विपक्ष ने जिस तरह से दबाव बनाया है, चाहे कांग्रेस की बात करें, समाजवादी पार्टी की बात करें, अन्य दलों की बात, राष्ट्रीय जनता दल की बात करें, तमाम दल जो हैं इसकी लगातार मांग करते रहे हैं। अब ये देखना होगा कि सरकार इसके लिए क्या राजी होती है नहीं। लेकिन जो बड़ी खबर है, वो बड़ी खबर यही है कि सरकार आखिरकार जो है जनगणना कराने के लिए जो है औपचारिक रूप से तैयार हो गई है, जो हमारे सूत्र इस बात की जानकारी दे रहे हैं।
जी, आनंद सिंह, मैं आपका भी रुख करना चाहता हूं इस वक्त। आनंद सिंह, ऑपोजिशन की राय इस पे क्या है? What is the opposition saying about this news that is coming from our government sources? Obviously, the opposition would have wanted a caste-based census. Now that it seems that the government is not in favor of this, the government saying that caste-based census will weaken India's unity. What is likely to be the opposition's viewpoint on this exercise?
Yeah, Uday, look, the opposition leaders, including Rahul Gandhi, who is the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, has been making the demand of caste-based census across the country. And even as the census was delayed by the government as it was scheduled to happen in 2021, but it got delayed by 4 years, as now the process will start in 2025 and will be completed by 2026. So clearly the opposition has been targeting the government earlier, that why the census has been delayed, and clearly the way in which the Ghathbandhan that was there in Bihar, which got the caste census done first of all in Bihar. So they were clearly demanding and making pressure on the central government that there should be a caste census across the country. And we have seen that how Rahul Gandhi has been mentioning this issue in his parliament debates, and also he has raised the questions on caste-based census during the session of parliament. And even outside the parliament, he has been demanding for the caste-based census across the country. And in several other states where the Congress has gone into elections, they have made the promise of conducting caste-based census, whether it is Karnataka, whether it is Himachal Pradesh, whether it is Haryana and Telangana. So everywhere the Congress has made the guarantee and promise of implementing and getting done the caste-based census. So clearly now the opposition has got the ammo to target the government over the issue that it has decided not to get the caste-based census. And we are still awaiting for the comments from the opposition parties, especially the Congress and even the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav, who has been vocal about the caste-based census, and he has also been demanding, along with Rashtriya Janata Dal from Bihar, that is Tejasvi Yadav, who also has been putting forth the demand for caste-based census, along with his father Lalu Prasad Yadav, who is the former union minister. So now the opposition parties will definitely target the
Absolutely. Alok Mehta, editorial director of
that.
India News, also joining us now, in fact, live. Alok Mehta, what is your viewpoint on this big decision by the government? Sources tell us a census will begin in 2025, unlikely to be predominantly on caste as the opposition would have wanted. But this exercise expected to continue into 2026. This could also then lead for delimitation as well by the next Lok Sabha elections. Alok Mehta, how are you viewing these big details coming in?
Vijayji, very rightly, the government has not announced yet, but certainly because it was discussing since long, and in COVID period, why the opposition saying you have not done something, but in the COVID period it was not possible at all to go home to home. That's why now his government is already, earlier also it was telling that okay, we will have census. Now the question of caste. You see, this kind of in election time, that's why I'm saying it's not a confirmed report from either from government or opposition, but opposition just saying Rahul Gandhi said, okay, we will compel government. But it is government have not issued any notification. They must be having some causes. I just wanted to mention that what Rahul Gandhi will say about his caste, Parsi, Kashmiri Brahman, or Priyanka Gandhi's son, what they will, son or daughter, what they will call themselves. What Akhilesh Yadav married to Dimple Yadav ji, but she is originally from Rajput. So their family, now the even government and officially accepted that even the mother's name can go for any certificate. For the official, any certificate you can just mention about your mother. So these younger generation, now the 50% population is a mixed society, and that's why it's not a question of the Hindu or Muslim or Sikh, okay, because the religion will be there. If somebody wants to say proudly that I'm a Christian, I'm a Sikh, I'm a Parsi, or I'm a Jain, okay, it will be mentioned. Earlier also it used to be. But this kind of politics, that's why it's very unfortunate to do the politics in this time, when the modern India, when we talk about the Viksit Bharat, that we strong India, what Rajiv Gandhi never mentioned about it. He was so much against the casteism. He was against giving interviews about it. This is the worst thing if you do about it on the basis of the caste. So these kind of what opposition party Rahul Gandhi doing just to please the Yadavs and all in the Lalu Yadav. But even in fact, Lalu Yadav, a family member of big family, 9 daughters, 8 daughters of what sons and everything, and whom they are married. I think everybody is not married to the same caste. So this kind of situation is there. They don't feel that what in Tamil Nadu or in Kerala, everywhere people, you want to divide these kind of work, and even then again the minorities, Muslims, you go to Ghaziabad, people will say, okay, I'm originally from Rajput. You go to Purnia, they said, okay, my mother was following the Hindu, but maybe my name or my father's name is Muslim, but we were following the Hindu festivals or Hindu rituals. Even then, I know people such. So these kind of situation, the generation change. He's talking about in the when you talk about the Mahatma Gandhi, you talk about the Lokmanya Tilak. Have you asked anybody if Mahatma Gandhi was Bania or who was the Lokmanya Tilak? Or who was the Ambedkar? Ambedkar was the constitutional maker. He was against, that's why he became the boss.
Absolutely.
So why you want to say Ambedkar is only Dalit? He was a constitutional, he prepared everything.
Absolutely. Let me quickly go back across to Mahima Kataria as well. Mahima Kataria, how likely is it that this issue now will be raked up in the election campaign, even in these states that are going to polls very, very soon, including Jharkhand and Maharashtra?
Well, as of now, it will be too early to say because there's no such official statement or a word from the side of the government. But like Alok sir correctly pointed out that back in 2021, due to the COVID, this particular census was postponed and hinting. I would like to highlight one point, major point here, hinting onto the census, an immediate beginning of much delayed census process. The central deputation of Mrityunjay Kumar Narayan, currently serving as the Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, has been extended recently till August 2026. And also, if you remember, Uday, in August, Union Home Minister Amit Shah stated that the probability of conducting the decadal census, it will be carried out at an appropriate time. Once decided, I will announce it. That is what in August, Union Home Minister Amit Shah stated. So we'll have to wait and watch that whether this is going to be, because the rallies are just going to start. We have got the star campaigners for both Maharashtra and Jharkhand. We'll have to see, because a lot of focus, if we talk about Maharashtra, a lot of focus will be on OBC Maratha. Last time back in Lok Sabha election, if you remember, Uday, a lot of OBC voters were upset with the Bharatiya Janata Party onto the grounds of Maratha reservation. So now this time we'll have to wait and watch and see that whether the census points will be highlighted in any of the campaignings that will be done by the star campaigners of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But as of now, if the sources are to be believed, the government is expected to begin the census, an official survey by 2025, and also it can count on to the limitation of the Lok Sabha seats that will commence in 2028. So we'll have to wait and watch that what will happen in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, whether there will be cards of caste politics or whether it will be merely onto the seats ratio or the division onto the candidature. Yes, Uday.
Absolutely. Rakesh Singh, let me quickly draw you back in here. We are learning that details regarding religion will be taken. Other details will also be taken, as is the norm in a census from the citizens of India.
देखिए उदय, देश में पहली बार जो है जनगणना के आंकड़े डिजिटल तरीके से जुटाए जाएंगे और संकलित किए जाएंगे। इसके लिए विशेष जो है पोर्टल तैयार किया गया है और इस पोर्टल में पूरी तौर पर जिक्र होगा। लेकिन जिस तरह से जिस बात का जिक्र किया जा रहा है, केंद्र सरकार ने फिलहाल जनगणना के साथ जातिवार जनगणना कराने को लेकर औपचारिक फैसला नहीं किया है, लेकिन विपक्ष की ओर से जातिवार जनगणना को राजनीतिक मुद्दा बनाने की कोशिश को देखते हुए मोदी सरकार जातिवार जनगणना कराने की फैसला ले सकती है, लेकिन अभी तक औपचारिक इसका ऐलान नहीं किया गया है, क्योंकि सरकार भी चाहती है कि एक तो इस मुद्दे पर एनडीए में कोई मतभेद न हो, साथ ही साथ धर्मों के आबादी में मौजूद जाति व्यवस्था की जड़ों को भी पता चल सके। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण जो जानकारी जो हमारे पास जो खबर आ रही है उसके मुताबिक जनगणना में धर्म और वर्ग पूछा जाता रहा है, साथ ही सामान्य अनुसूचित जाति और जनजाति की गणना भी होती रही है। लेकिन इस बार लोगों से यह पूछा जा सकता है कि वह किस संप्रदाय के अनुयायी हैं। उदाहरण के तौर पर कर्नाटक में सामान्य वर्ग में आने वाले लिंगायत स्वयं को अलग संप्रदाय के मानते हैं। इसी तरह अनुसूचित जाति में वाल्मीकि, रविदासी जैसे अलग अलग संप्रदाय में हैं। यानी धर्म और धर्म के साथ संप्रदाय के आधार पर जनगणना की मांग पर सरकार विचार कर सकती है। ये जो हमारे सूत्र हैं इस बात की जानकारी दे रहे हैं, लेकिन औपचारिक रूप से सरकार की ओर से इस पर बयान आना बाकी है। खास तौर पर सबकी नजरें जातिगत जनगणना पर टिकी हुई है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से विपक्ष लगातार इसको लेकर हमलावर है। चाहे राहुल गांधी की बात करें, अखिलेश यादव हो, जिस तरह की राजनीति इसको लेकर की जाती रही है, तो ये मसला एक बड़ा मसला है और इस पर अब सरकार की ओर से पूरी स्थिति साफ की जाएगी। जी उदय।
जी बिल्कुल आनंद, मैं आपके पास आना चाहता हूं। जैसे अभी महिमा बता रही थी कि अभी देखना होगा कि ये मुद्दा जो है ये महाराष्ट्र चुनाव और झारखंड चुनाव में उठता है या नहीं, क्योंकि अभी तेज़ गति से प्रचार जो है वो प्रारंभ होगा शायद दिवाली के पश्चात। बट व्हाट आर योर सोर्सेज टेलिंग यू इफ दिस न्यूज़ डज कम? And so far it is not confirmed whether the caste-based questions will be part of this exercise or not. Will the opposition rake it up in these elections itself?
Yeah, Uday, look, as Mahima mentioned about giving extension to the Registrar General for the census till August 2026. So now Jairam Ramesh has given a tweet in which he has mentioned that the extension of the tenure of the Registrar General and Census Commissioner had just been notified, and it means that the long delayed census that was due in 2021 will finally be conducted soon. But there is still absolutely no clarity on two critical issues. In the first issue that he has mentioned in his tweet, where he says, will this new census include a detailed enumeration of all caste in the country in addition to that of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes that has been done in every census since 1951. And he then mentions that according to the Constitution of India, such a caste census is the sole responsibility of the union government. In point 2, Jairam Ramesh mentioned that will this census be used for determining the strength of each state in the Lok Sabha as provided for in Article 82 of the Constitution of India, which says that the first census taken after the year 2026 and the publication of its result will be the basis of any such reconstitution. Will this work to the disadvantage of states that have been pioneers in family planning? And then he went on to mention that it would be most appropriate if an all-party meeting is held soon to get clarity on these two vital points. So clearly, Jairam Ramesh has demanded for an all-party meeting over the issue of the caste-based census, even as the government is yet to officially announce that it won't be conducting the caste-based census across the country, which has been the demand of the opposition parties for long. And now, this will give further ammo to the opposition party in the Maharashtra and Jharkhand elections. As in Maharashtra, we have seen the battle of the Maratha reservation or non-Maratha reservation, and even the OBC reservation has been going on for long. So definitely this will be a big issue in the Maharashtra assembly elections, and even in Jharkhand assembly election the opposition will be raking up the issue of the caste-based census, as the population in Jharkhand is considerably very high for the tribal and Dalits over there. So definitely it will be a big ammunition that the opposition has got just ahead of the crucial assembly elections in both those states. Back to you then.
Absolutely. Let me quickly draw in Alok Mehta as well at this point. Alok Mehta, now this is of course a delayed exercise, as you were saying earlier. Perhaps COVID had delayed this exercise, but what is the importance of such an exercise for India overall, Alok Mehta?
Our focus should be on which area. So I think this kind of census help for economy, for not for politics. What I feel that just because to provoke other people, what Jairam Ramesh is doing or opposition party is doing, just because they want to create, because earlier never it happened. When earlier the census happened, nobody asked about this. But because now the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is talking about the total unity, when they talk about the Hindu unity or the minority, if they say, okay, Muslim, we should be united. So these kind of religious identification must be there, because there will be no objection about it. But problem is because they want to divide the voters on the basis of the caste. That is the main point. That's why they are asking for the opposition meeting. Otherwise, the parliament will be also there. In parliament, they are going to raise. They want to get a credit, or they want to just defame the government. Okay. They don't want to count the Kurmi or Yadav or Brahman and everybody. So they want to divide the unity of India. They want to divide the society. They want to more in fighting, like some chaos should be there. So they will have again the election will be there. So these kind of opposition parties, At least, but if they are sensible people and I think they are responsible opposition, at least I can understand. They should have a meeting, they can discuss some formula, and the other, in the same time, for some reason, maybe if they want something about how many backwards are there. So the Prime Minister is not against this because he is also from the backward community. But he represents the whole India. You can't say, okay, he's so-and-so caste. Why the Rajan Prasad was the caste of he was the Kayastan at the time after the independence. Nobody talk about it. Nehru never talk about this. Rajiv Gandhi never talked about it. Narasimha Rao was also Brahmin, but never talked about it. But what is happening, the Rahul Gandhi and Jairam Ramesh, they just because they want more chaos, just to defame the India, that is the main problem. Uday.
Absolutely. In fact, we have Tathagat Roy, former governor. Okay, I think we have lost that connection with Tathagat Roy there. But Udit Raj, former Lok Sabha MP, Congress, is joining us on the broadcast. Udit Raj, your first reaction to this news coming in from our government sources. What do you make of this proposed plan of the government?
What is that? I should know it. I don't know the question.
Udit Raj, are you aware of these details coming in from our government sources regarding this proposed census?
What is that? I'm not aware of.
Okay, I think Udit Raj has not been briefed properly. We'll leave it at that. We'll get you back, sir, when you're more aware of the story. Let me quickly go back across to Mahima at this point. Mahima, now, as you were saying earlier, that this could also, pave the way for delimitation as well. And that is something that perhaps is being talked about that could happen in 29 because in also the Lok Sabha strength or rather the size has gone up. In the new parliament, there is space for many more MPs now. So the number of constituencies could perhaps increase as well, isn't it, Mahima, if there is a new delimitation conducted?
Well, absolutely. There, like you also correctly pointed out, following the census, the delimitation of Lok Sabha seats will commence, and this exercise is likely to be completed by 2028. So, definitely, if there is delimitations, we saw it in Jammu and Kashmir as well. There were areas where delimitation happened, and the seats somewhere down the line had increased from 6 to 7 or 8. So, definitely, if delimitation happened before the following the census, the seats are definitely, the number of seats are going to increase. But what is important, what is to be noted that, well, absolutely, if the opposition is concerned, I would like to highlight here that following the reports regarding the census, the discussion on the caste census has restarted, wherein the Congress leader Manikam Tagore stated that the central government refusal to conduct a caste census constitute a betrayal of OBC communities. He also tweeted that Prime Minister Modi's refusal to conduct a caste census is a clear betrayal of OBC. But if we talk about OBC and we link it to Maharashtra and Jharkhand election, it is very important for the Bharatiya Janata Party to this time have a look at the OBC voter, because earlier, if you remember, Uday, while we people were discussing onto the Maharashtra election, in the Lok Sabha election, BJP had a backdraw when it came to the OBC voters because they were really upset of the Maratha reservation. But this time, a move that was made by the central government or the state government that then coincided with the central government was to include 15 caste into the OBC category this time. So this time, the OBC caste will have 15 new caste in Maharashtra. So we'll have to wait and watch exactly that what this census is going to be all about. But as of now, the government is expected to begin the
very closely, isn't it, Anand?
2020.
Anand, the opposition is looking at it very closely. Reactions are beginning to pour in, as you told us earlier, of Jairam Ramesh and others. Now, of course, it seems that the government not in favor of a complete caste-based census, but perhaps certain subsects within SC/STs could be looked at in the census. That's what reporters are saying, Anand.
Yeah, Uday, look, even as Mahima mentioned that the government is yet to officially comment on the same, whether caste-based census will be carried or not. So definitely the opposition is also waiting for the clarification from the government whether what it wants in the census to be done from that it will be beginning in 2025 and that and it will be completed by 2026. So definitely the opposition parties have first Jairam Ramesh has clearly mentioned in his tweet that he has demanded the all party meetings so that the opposition parties can be made aware of the intentions of the government, and definitely after getting a clarification from the government by the end of the day the opposition party will plan their strategy for the Maharashtra as well as Jharkhand assembly polls, because both these states are very crucial, and even in Maharashtra the reservation issue is a very big factor. And even leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, as we have seen earlier, that during several of his public meetings he has mentioned that how the reservation that should be given on the basis of the people of the different caste, and that's why caste census is required across the country. And on many occasions he has mentioned that how in government jobs only 3 of the senior officials are from the backward or Dalit community, whereas out of 90 officials. So he clearly has made this debate a very hot topic in the political corridors, and now the opposition will be completely defining their strategy for the upcoming assembly elections in both the states. Back to you there.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Mahima, Anand, Rakesh, with your details on that big story. Also, thanks to Alok Mehta for joining us with his perspective on this big development. We'll continue to track this news for our viewers, but for the time being, taking a short break.